Coming up on Mountain News at 6, a Kentucky man accused of killing his father and grandfather appears before a judge. What we're learning today from the courtroom. Plus, projects in Floyd County receive FEMA funding, seeing progress for some properties impacted by the 2022 flood.
Plus, enjoy the sunny weather because rain chances are on the way. Your first alert forecast coming up as Mountain News at 6 starts now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
A suspect in a horrific murder case in Southern Kentucky was in court this morning. Austin Prather is accused in the deaths of his father and grandfather and the attempted murder of his grandmother. The crimes happened in early November in the Science Hill community of Pulaski County. Prather was found in Indiana and was recently brought back to Kentucky. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on what took place in the Pulaski County courtroom today.
It has been 5 weeks since a crime that shocked many. A young man was accused of killing his father, his grandfather, and then trying to kill his grandmother.
I need your full name, please.
Austin Ray Prather.
Prather was recently brought back to Kentucky after he was captured in Evansville, Indiana, several days after the crimes. He's already been indicted, and he appeared in circuit court for the first time Wednesday morning.
Your Honor, discovery will be ongoing. There are several items that are still being examined. I would ask the court to set a pretrial conference 2 months out. During that time, I'll be meeting with the victim's family. We will be filing notice of statutory aggravators.
We still don't know much about the motives. Police have not released that, and neither have the attorneys. However, according to the indictment, Austin Prather, in addition to the murder and attempted murder charges, is charged with robbery in the first degree. Prather's father and grandparents are all listed as the victims of that robbery.
I just want to orally move to preserve any evidence that may exist at a lab or anything else, and he is invoking his right to not speak to any more law enforcement.
He'll be back in court in February for a pretrial hearing. In Pulaski County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
There was no discussion of Prather's bond, which currently is listed as no bond. A Southern Kentucky man is facing several charges after a police chase. It happened overnight on Tuesday in parts of Pulaski and Lincoln counties. Pulaski County deputies noticed a truck driving north on Highway 1247 in a manner that led them to believe the driver was under the influence. When a deputy tried to obtain information from the truck's license plate, Ronnie Redden took off. Deputies were eventually able to find Redden hiding behind a home off Hayes Road. In Wayne County, 2 people are behind bars for reportedly trafficking drugs. After deputies with the sheriff's office obtained a search warrant, they went to a home off Tony Dishman Road. During the search, deputies found 3 firearms, drug paraphernalia items, and a white powdery substance, among other things. Tony Dishman and Jennifer Crabtree face several charges and were taken to the Wayne County Detention Center. Officials say more arrests are possible in the case. A Laurel County man is behind bars after police say he tried to resist arrest. The situation happened last night about 8 miles east of London. Deputies with the sheriff's office were dispatched to a complaint of Jody Lynn Roark walking on the road, who was wanted on outstanding warrants. Deputies tried to arrest Roark when he started scuffling with them. Roark was taken to the Laurel County Correctional Center. Amid the Israel-Hamas war, colleges across the country are facing an uptick in hate speech on their campuses. Some university leaders are facing heat for their handling of anti-Semitic rhetoric. Jay Blanton is the spokesperson for UK. He says following October 7th, the university did have students express concerns about their safety as they watched an increase in hate across the country. However, Blanton says there has not been an uptick in this kind of hate on their campus.
We've got to be a place where we understand that even if speech is allowed, even when it is allowed and it has to be allowed, that we're going to have resources for people to turn to understand, to get awareness and education, but also support when they are hurt.
While the University of Kentucky is a place that welcomes free speech, Blanton added violence is not welcome. Just last month, Tunnel to Towers, a nonprofit, paid off the mortgage for the family of fallen Scott County Sheriff's Deputy Caleb Conley. Now, the group is stepping up once again to cover 2 more southeastern Kentucky families whose loved ones died in the line of duty. Kelsey Soto is talking with the founder and CEO about the message behind their mission.
It's a burden no one should have to bear. London police officer Logan Medlock kissed his wife and son Brantley goodbye last October and never came home. Medlock was hit and killed by a suspected drunk driver.
And we're heartbroken.
Prestonsburg police officer Jacob Chaffins answered his final call for service last July. Chaffins was gunned down in an ambush-style attack serving a warrant. The two were lifelong servants and left behind young families.
We're not going to let evil win out. We are going to take that. We're going to do good in the honor of my brother and all these great heroes that died on 9/11.
Frank Siller lost his brother Stephen in the 9/11 terror attacks. His family turned their pain into promises.
But in this season of hope, we want to make sure that these families are not forgotten.
Through the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, both widows, Savannah and Courtney, won't ever have to worry about a mortgage payment. They can remain in their home to raise their small children.
Because these great heroes, before they run into a fire, do you think they ask, are they black? Are they white? Are they Hispanic? Are they, Christian? Are they Jewish? Or whatever? They don't ask questions. They just run in.
Both Medlock and Chaffins were second-generation first responders. It's a sense of sacrifice that runs deep through their veins.
We got to give a sense of security and some peace back in the lives and some hope back in the lives of these kids and these widows and widowers that saw their loved ones die for us.
Now those officers can rest easy and forever in peace. In Lexington, Kelsey Soto, WKYT.
That's just great. Tunnel to Towers is covering 41 mortgages between Thanksgiving and Christmas. They have gifted more than 200 already this year.
The forecast remains calm and cool as we go into your Wednesday evening. Here's a live look across the mountains, and check out this beautiful sunset over at I-64 in Rowan County, and more clear skies across the mountains at this hour. And as the sun sets, we are tracking some more chilly conditions as we go later on into tonight. Temperatures right now for most of us in the 40s, down to 42 for Pikeville, 44 in Jackson, 45 in Manchester, and 52 over in Harlan. So we do fall into the 30s once again as we go later on into tonight. Low temperatures back in the upper 20s, so once again possibly some widespread frost as you wake up and walk out the door on Thursday, so you may need some extra time to defrost the car as we are chilly as you wake up on your Thursday. And again, we are dry on Thursday, also on Friday, but as you can see, some more widespread showers are possible later on in the forecast. Not in the short term. Once again, we are dry through the first half of your weekend, but more showers are likely by Sunday and a few more showers on Monday. Timing out those rain chances in just a few minutes. Steve?
Cameron, thank you. Utility assistance for low-income households starts on January 9th. The program is called LIHEAP, and the crisis component runs through March 31st. It helps people who would otherwise have no heat. Households must meet income requirements and provide some documents to qualify. You can apply at any community action agency. Addiction Recovery Care has announced plans to open another facility in Southwest Virginia. Crews will transform the former Irvington Elementary School into a women's treatment facility in Nora, Virginia. Developers hope the facility to be open by the end of 2025. The Dickinson County Director of Economic Development says in part, quote, "The announcement of a women's facility is a major step toward turning the tide of addiction in Southwest Virginia." Since the 2022 floods, many communities have been looking for answers and hoping for guidance. In Floyd County, more of that help has been announced. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has an update on the ongoing work.
Floyd County officials are working with FEMA and flood survivors to find a foundation for the future.
They went to bed one night, woke up the next morning, and their lives were washed away. Everything that they worked for was washed away.
With some losing everything, the work to recover has been ongoing for more than 1 year.
I remember pulling up in at a guy's house, and he's got a pile of rubbish in his front yard. And he said that's 25 years of coal mining.
Judge Executive Robbie Williams says 125 homeowners applied for FEMA buyouts, and he did not want to undersell the amount of time it could take to see progress.
The homes that have been involved in the buyout process previously was 4 to 6 years. I didn't want to give them false hope that this was going to be done expedited and be moved up and taken care of in 12 to 18 months. But that's the case. We are there.
Now, he says 18 of those homeowners have seen funding from FEMA, with 26 in the process of likely seeing closure by February, thanks to the tireless work of Missy Allen with the Fiscal Court and Eric Ratliff with Big Sandy Ad.
They do understand the importance of getting these folks back in housing. And it's not just a job to them. It's personal.
The county received more than $1.6 million in funding to buy out 13 of those properties, create a green space, and operate a program for more progress. But Williams hopes the funding will keep flowing.
FEMA is having some funding issues at the national level, and that's a little concerning to us going forward. Is the funding going to hold to go ahead and finish these buyouts?
Until the communities are back on their feet. In Floyd County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
That earlier funding, which was announced today by FEMA, will be used to buy the properties, demolish the homes, and remove all the debris. The green space left behind will then be under the county's management, left as open space. Today, the Kentucky Supreme Court announced a revised bar exam for law students in the Commonwealth. The new exam is the Next Gen exam that's been adopted by the National Conference of Bar Examiners. It will focus on skills-based knowledge around 9 areas of legal doctrine. The current bar exam has been in place since 2021. The Next Gen exam will begin in July 2027. Kentucky Senate Majority Floor Leader Damon Thayer will not seek re-election. The Georgetown Republican's term will end in December of next year. That will mark the end of his 22 years in the Senate. Thayer has served more than a decade as Majority Floor Leader. In a statement, he said he has accomplished most of the political and policy goals he set out to achieve.
Well, we are tracking some dry weather to continue as we go into tonight, but those rain chances are not far away. Those details coming up. Plus,
the Hazard Police Department takes students out for a holiday shopping spree.